I know Ryan talked about you guys practice contingency plan after contingency plan. How do you feel like your guys did once you got all the way down to the contingency plan?
We have been going through that since fall camp. That's why I keep telling people we don't recruit corners or safeties. We recruit defensive backs. And we had a contingency plan from fall camp. Like, obviously, we tweaked it a little bit based on guys starting to elevate their level of play. But same thing happened the week before. Taz obviously went down. T-Strain made a hell of a play. He goes down, right? Next man up. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Xavier got thrown into the line of fire probably sooner than he expected. But I thought the young man rose to the occasion, right? He had obviously a couple PI call, critical catch towards the end of the game. Had touchdown back of the end zone, but that's just part of growing pains, man. That dude 8 months ago was the man on this high school basketball team. You know what I'm saying? And so we got all the confidence in the world in him. I love the way he battled. We actually he had about eight to 10 corner reps. Him and Quan that week leading up to the game, because we're always thinking ahead. Especially me and Coach Walt in terms of secondary play. But it's been good, man. I really enjoy the way these guys battle, and obviously we didn't end up with a victory, man, and that's the most important thing in my opinion. But just to see the growth that they made throughout the course of the game, or the young players made throughout the course of the game, I think it can propel us into this game.
For the last couple of weeks, the defense has not played quite at the level before. Mm-hmm. Is there a noticeable fall-off? Is there just all injuries? Tell me what you think is going on.
No, I think part of it is, I think when you're playing, when the expectation is so high, right? So people expect us to play defense at a level of 8.3 points a game.
Right.
No rushing yards, under 100 passing yards. And then when you don't hold up to that, now it's, in the world's mind, the defense isn't good enough, right? You have your games, right? We didn't play as well as we know we're capable of playing. Too many, we kind of beat ourselves on a couple plays. Too many penalties, you know what I'm saying? Too many mental errors. Didn't take the ball away enough, and so I think it's a culmination of a bunch of things. But man, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And I think you just have to get back to your base fundamentals and what you do. Yeah, there were some guys thrown into the line of fire, some young players, but that ain't no excuse. At the end of the day, we gave up 31 points. That's not the standard of defense we want to play. I think everybody in the building knows that. I think our players know that. I think our coaches know that. And there's an expectation. The expectation is really, really, really high.
Okay.
And so anytime you give up 31 points, I don't care who you're playing. At the end of the day, for us, the goal is to give up no points or hold them less than what our offensive score. You know what I'm saying? And so it was unfortunate, but you got to learn from it. It's only a loss. It's only a loss if you don't learn from it. And so I think a lot of the young players who were thrown to the fire, I think they learned from it, and hopefully they'll still win in the big house.
You dropped all the way to second nationally for defense.
That's a long fall off.
Really.
Yes, sir.
Amazing that this is like the new standard for you guys, given where the team was 5 years ago.
Yes, sir. I think anytime you're there's a sense of pride of every player, every coach in this on this staff, right? And Coach B always talks about the difference might be me, from a coaching perspective and from a player perspective, and I didn't. Obviously, you hear about the rankings and where we're at in defense and all that stuff, and I guess we fell a slot or two. At the end of the day, I'm not concerned about that. I want to win.
Okay.
Right. I want to win, man. Like my ultimate goal is to win. Obviously, you don't want to give up 80 points and get a win, but you want to play really good defense, and that's what we have been doing. At least the last 8 games this year, playing really good defense and holding opponents under a certain point total and giving ourselves a chance to win. And so, obviously, this past week we didn't meet that standard, and we got to do. I have to do some self-reflection as a coach. Players have to check themselves in the mirror as well, and the goal is to be a lot better. It sucks. It absolutely sucks to go out there and lose, but we understand the expectation, and I think it just makes you that much more hungrier going into the next game.
I know you guys wanted to keep Xavier as a blue shirt. Why was he such a priority with what you saw? Basketball player at one point,
bro, he is that kid. That kid has everything you want in a player. When Strain went down, he had the look in his eye, like I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times when young players not sure if they're getting the game or not. I've been around enough really good players to know I can just look in a player's eye and tell if they're ready to rock and roll, or if they need a series, a quarter, or half right, to get their minds right. But for every player, it's a tad bit different, and I don't know. We got full confidence in them. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes, especially early on in your career, I think getting beat is healthy for you. You know, obviously it happened to T. Strain against Michigan State, right? He comes back and makes an interception this past week, but it's part of it. We got full confidence in him. Really excited about what he's going to do out there Saturday, moving forward the rest of the season. And so I think it's a great opportunity for him. And he rises to that. He has a spoon-like mentality in terms of like just his aggressiveness, just his approach to everything. You know what I'm saying? Obviously on a little bit of calmer level, being a freshman, but we have a lot of full confidence in that young man for us to put him in that position.
How do you?
Maybe every DB being a little different. Just what Xavier kind of bring unique to that spot?
I just think, you know, at that position you have to play with elite level confidence. We know he's more than fast enough. He doesn't let plays bother him. You know, he can get beat in the game and it's like it never happened. You know, he's still going to have that aggressive mentality, aggressive approach. And so I think corner is different than any other position on the field, right? Like it's a lot of space out there, man. You covering a real cat, you know. And so him to be thrusted in that position, man, I think for us to believe in him, to put him in that position, it was things that we saw months, weeks, months prior to that allowed us to put him in that position. And for the most part, right, take away one or two plays, I thought he went out there and busted his butt.
How do you coach Devin through those moments, couple tough calls that didn't go his way? How do you coach him through those?
It's funny you say that, right? I had a bunch of coaches texting me at the end of the game, like, how do you get defensive backs to continue to be aggressive after PI calls, right? Well, the same thing I did. It started in spring ball, right? Like, if they got a flag in practice, like some coaches, and this is a coaching tip, some coaches yell at them, curse them out. You can't do that. Well, obvious, right? When that happens in practice, I don't yell at them, I don't curse at them, I don't get on them, right? We look at it on tape, right? I tell them probably should have got your eyes around. I try to coach them in that moment, right? But it's a really big coaching lesson on the field. I mean, in the film room. And so for Devin's high strung anyway. You know what I'm saying? He don't let that stuff bother him anyway, which is probably the reason why he's a really good corner. But I just tell him to keep doing what he's doing, right? I'm obviously on my end, right? You try to look for, okay, well, what was the reason they threw that, and try to talk to him. But it is what it is, man. There's no excuses here, and I just have to be better in terms of getting them in a better position to lean and locate for the football, whether they're going chest to chest with a wide receiver or they're turning and running with them. And so we've worked on that a lot today. We're going to work on it a lot more tomorrow because teams are going to continue to challenge us down the field, and hopefully we don't get no DPI calls.